Hiking the same trails over and over again can be super boring, so I'm out here in the woods for a little walk and a little chat about some places that you might find trail inspiration. So my first tip for places to look is online. Coillte is Ireland's semi-state forestry company, and they manage over 11% of the land here in Ireland. So if you're out hiking or walking in the woods, chances are you're probably in Coillte. You can double check. There's usually signage by the car park. On their website they have a whole map of recreation areas, and they have an individual page for a lot of their more popular hikes. Because these are maintained forestry trails, they often have trail markers on them, so they're ideal for beginners. If you go onto those pages, you can also find downloadable trail maps that give you more information about the route. Discover Ireland and Sport Ireland both have a big catalogue of loads of different activities that you can do around Ireland, but these also include hiking routes and walking routes, so have a quick look and see if anything tickles your fancy. The other place to look is local tourism sites, so things like visit waterford.ie or tipperary.ie. They often have information on local trails. Last but not least is my favourite website, tiip. They're run by a company based here in Clonmel, and they post articles about national monuments, historical sites. Many of their articles are free, but they also have additional articles and itineraries amongst various other resources available with their annual subscription. I'll post all the links to these websites down in the description as well. Tip 2 is books. Some of my favourites include Irish Peaks by Mountaineering Ireland and The Hike Life by Ros Purcell. The wood pigeon agrees, if you can hear that. Both of these books offer local hikes, and what I really like about Ros Purcell's one is it also includes places to have a cup of coffee or something nice to eat after your hike. Both of these books have various photos, but they also include information about the trail itself, so how long is the trail, the elevation gain, how difficult it is, how much time it's going to take you, so it's really, really handy to know. The last place that I would recommend having a look is local bookstores. They often have books by local authors about local routes, but they also are really, really good for finding those hidden gems, the lesser known trails that wouldn't be in those national level books. Tip number 3 is apps. I like to use Hiker. I find it very easy to use, very accessible. They have a huge variety of different trails with different difficulty levels. I prefer Hiker over other competitors because I find on other apps a lot of the trails are crowdsourced, which means they're not verified. So it's happened to me a couple of times that I've been out hiking. It was supposed to be a 12-kilometre trail and it ended up being 22 kilometres. So if you do use other apps, be sure to verify them using third-party sources, but like I said, I like Hiker. It's very easy to plan my trails. It's very easy to use them on my phone when I'm out navigating. And they also use east-west mapping, which is consistent with the paper maps that I use, so it's very handy to switch between the two. And if you fancy giving Hiker a go, you can use my discount code. It's AOB50, and that will give you 50% off your first annual subscription. So tip number 4 is to use a map. Here in Ireland there's Ordnance Survey Ireland maps, and there's east-west mapping. Ordnance Survey tend to have like national trails, while east-west mapping have like a lot of local trails. There's advantages and disadvantages to using the map. For instance, you can make up the route yourself. You can map your route around viewpoints or national monuments. The disadvantage being you obviously need to know how to read a map to use a map. So that might not be for everyone. Good thing I wasn't recording because I nearly just fell over. But we just arrived at our little swimming spot, and look how lovely this is. I'm trying not to slip again, but look at this. How cute is that? That's adorable. And it's gonna be freezing. Okay, I don't have a choice, I'm just sliding. Oh man, that's cold. Oh. That's cold. I think that's enough. I don't know if I can get back out again. Well, that was absolutely freezing. Tip number 5 is to go with a hiking group. Basically, it means that you don't actually have to choose the route yourself. Usually if you go on their website, they'll have like varying difficulty levels for different hikes, and you can choose one according to your fitness level and ability. But the nice thing, like I said, is you don't actually have to organise anything. You don't have to choose the route. You don't have to do any research. You just book it and you turn up at the car park. The other nice thing is it's a great way to meet other people, like-minded people that are obviously also into hiking and the outdoors. So it's very suited towards people who prefer like the social aspect of hiking. 2 groups that I know of that I'd highly recommend are Gals Gone Wild. They do various hikes all over the country, and the other one is Schlieve Hiking, that's based here in the southeast. And here is a bonus tip for you, and that is just to go out exploring. It's a nice little activity to do on days where there's bad weather, because you can just like drive around in the car. And I would say to have a look out for like signs or even laybys. Like Cuilcha has a lot of forests that the trails are not listed on the website, but you'll know they're Cuilcha because the sign will be at the lay-by or the car park. They won't all have marked trails, but they will have maintained trails mostly. And if you pick a good one, you can go check it out on the website or on a map later on and make up your own routes. Pay attention to signage when you're driving around as well. A lot of those local signs will point out like lesser known looped trails or even national monuments that might be worth going to have a look at. And the other thing is, don't be afraid to chat to locals. Like if you do have to stop for petrol or something, have a chat with the people that work there. Ask them if they know of any nice places locally, like any nice routes or any viewpoints, like could be a nice lake, could be a nice waterfall, something like that. But that's how you really find the hidden gems that only the locals know about. So yeah, those are my top tips for finding new inspiration for trails. Let me know in the comments how do you usually come up with new routes. And if you need help packing your bag, head over to my last video where I talked about the 10 hiking essentials. And yeah, that's all from me. So happy hiking, August long a fall.